Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I was coding in Python today and I used a very cool trick, and I just wanted to share that with you. And I was thinking about making this video. I could also think about some other cool Python tricks that you can use to make your life much easier. And I thought that I'll include everything in this one video. So let's get started. The first trick is, let's say you go a variable, let's call it n, for example, and it's type integer. I don't think I've ever used this in one of my videos before, but it makes your code more readable when you specify the type of the variable that you're using. When someone reads the code, they understand, or like even yourself, after a while, you come back to your code, you look at it, you understand what you're doing. It's not necessary, you don't really have to, but it's good practice. Anyway, so let's say n equals to some numbers, right? And then you want to print your value. You want to go print n, right? It just prints it for you. Nothing strange happens here. It's just printing the value n. But let's say I want to do something like this. Use f strings. By the way, like I'm going to be using f string, like all these tricks that I'm teaching you today and showing you how to use them are related to f strings. So if I run that, it's the same thing. Nothing crazy, right? But if I go column underscore here, then what's happening is that it separates, in thousands places, the input number for me. So you have like 3 zeros here and then underscore and then like the rest of the number. So if it's like a huge number, let's say you do some calculation, you want to print the output, and the output is something this big, it's really hard to count the number of zeros or any other digits that is in that number. So if I do that, it just separates the number for me like this. So underscore is one of the separators that you can use. The other separator that you can use is comma. It does the same thing. So if I run that now, you will see that you get the same thing. But now instead of underscore, it's separated using commas. These are the only two separators that you can use, right? You cannot use anything else, which is good enough for the purpose of, this feature. So this is the first trick that I wanted to show you. Now let's comment this out and clear your terminal and go to the second trick. The second trick is that, let's say that you have a string, right? I'm just going to call that my string. That let's follow the good practice thing that I said. So it's a string and that equals to, I don't know, for example, tile, right? And I want to print that. I just go print my string. Again, nothing too crazy here. I print it. It prints as I expect it to print. But this is not what I want to do. I want to use f strings, and in curly brackets, I can just go. In curly brackets, I can just go my string. Right? It's the same thing. Nothing happens. But now, let's say that you want to align it, right? You want to right align it. You want to left align it. You want to center align it. It happens like very often that you want to do that. You want to like comment your code. Let's say, for example, you want to do something like this, like act title here, and then I don't know, do something like this to make your code look pretty, right? So what you can do here is to add column, right? And then, oops, not there. Inside the curly bracket, you want to go column, and then you want to go the greater than sign, and let's say 15, right? So now what happens if I run this is that it extends the string that you have to 15 characters. So my string title has 5 characters in it. I want it to be 15. So what happens is that it inserts 10 spaces before the string to right align it. So let's see what happens. As you can see, it's adding the spaces before. If you want to add the spaces after that, well, it actually doesn't even make any sense because like that's the default, but you can just do this. And if you see that, it's like add the spaces here, right? After that, like if you want to see, you can like just go like comma here, column here. So you will see that it's actually doing something. So we can see the columns at the end. And the other thing that he can do is obviously to center align it. And for that purpose, he used this sign. And if I do that now, you see this one is center aligned. Cool. Um, well, we can actually like make it even prettier. Let's say, because right now all it's doing it's inserting spaces, right? But let's say you want to fill it, I mean, using some other things. Like I want to go here and then add underscore here. And then what happens is that when I run it, you will see that it's adding underscore instead of spaces in the empty spaces. Here, I can go and add, for example, the hash sign. If I run that now, you will see that it's completing it and filling it with hashes. And then here, I don't know, let's say we want to use dollar signs, right? And if I run that, it adds dollar signs before and dollar signs after that. So far, so good. This was trick number 2. There is more. I have 2 more cool tricks for you. Um, so let's clear this now. And the third one is that let's say that you have another number. This time, let's say it's a float and it's equal to, I don't know, just like some random number, right? It's supposed to be a dot, a period. So this is my number, right? If I go print n, same thing happens as before. It just prints the value for me. Nothing special. And if I use the f strings and go n, again, nothing changes. It just prints the number for me. But sometimes you're dealing with some values, let's say like some number like pi, and which the fraction part is just like too long or infinite, and you don't want to like print everything. You want to limit that because let's say you only care about the 2 digits after the decimal point, right? How can you do that? To do that, you can just go column here, dot, because you don't care about like what comes on the left side of the period. And then you say, I just want 3 decimal points here, right? And now when you print it, it only keeps 4, 3, and 2 and gets you to, oh, this is actually like a bad example because like it's 4, 3, 2, and 4, 2, 3 are very close. So let's say I just do this now. And if I run that, it just keeps 4, 3, and it, as you can see, it rounds it up to 3 as well, right? You can keep playing with that. You can just go like, I only need 1. And if you print that, you only get the 4. It's interesting. And let's say like this, like the part before the period is actually like long and you want to separate it using commas, you can actually do that too. You can just add comma before the period. And if you run that, you will see that it's like 54,356.4 and it's separated by a comma down here. And this was the third trick. And let's comment this out, clear this part. And now the last one, and I think the one that you may have not seen before, is that let's say that you have a string, or no, actually let's do some calculation, right? I want to go, I don't know, variable 1 type integer equals, I don't know, 20, right? And variable 2, yeah, let's just like use some better names, x and y. Y is also an integer, and it's like 15. Okay. And if I go print x minus y, it gives me 5, right? Nothing crazy happens here. If I go give me the f strings for, not that, but curly bracket, x minus y, and if I run this, it gives me the same thing, right? Now, I want to know, this is not very descriptive of C5, like what is that? Let's say you have more than one print in your code and it just keeps printing things and you look at it, it's like, what is 5? What's like, what calculation was done? And this is the result. You just don't know that. So it's good practice to go, for example, x minus y equals that, right? And then now, if you print that, it says x minus 5, y equals 5, which is good. Okay, so this works. But let's say that we want to be professional Python programmers, right? We want to use the features that Python gives us. So you don't want to print that part. You just want to go, okay, I just need to know what's x minus y, but I still need it to be descriptive. So what you can do, you can just go x minus y and then keep the equal sign inside the curly brackets, right? I'm not printing anything, as you can see. I'm just like printing x minus y equals. And then now what happens is that if I run this, it says x minus y equals 5. So it actually gave me the result, right? Same thing. Let's say I want to go x times y. It's going to be like 300. And if I do that, it says x times y is 300. So you save some time by not printing x minus y equals that, and Python does it for you. And as you can see, it's like just descriptive as it used to be. It just like makes it faster and makes your code look cleaner, right? Because you don't have, look, those long lines because you're just trying to explain what's happening. Anyway, so these are the 4 cool Python tricks that I wanted to share with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It supports me a great deal. And thank you for watching me as always, and see you all in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. And bye-bye.